Hi, the Gemini full moon is going to be happening on the 4th of December. So what does that mean for us? Well, it means that we are getting a fullness of how we are feeling in our minds about what we want to do going forwards. There's a stellium as well in Sagittarius, so there's lots of fire energy of where we want to go with our beliefs. It's about what choices we want to make now that we have investigated where our new beliefs are going to be, having gone quite deep, because now, of course, Mercury is now direct, and Mercury is going to be sitting at 22 degrees of Scorpio and still making an opposition to Uranus with a 6-degree orb. So it's not exact, but it is going to be becoming exact. So it's approaching Uranus. So it's an increasing energy of perhaps having some more visits of higher consciousness arrive to us from Uranus, and more information as well that could become more evident to us in our minds, and it could be quite surprising to us. It might be quite sudden, possibly shocking. I think the 29th of October we had this yes, and it was a surprising event, and I remember what happened to me, and yeah, things take you by surprise, and it's new, and it's moving things forwards. But this is a full moon, so it could be a release point. It could be you could be feeling more detached, yet it is emotional. So you might have all of these feelings, but you might not necessarily be feeling them inside on a physical level. So we're going to need to drop down somatically, I think, to feel this one through and actually express it out, because Gemini can be quite cerebral, and it's quite detached but chatty and all over the place when we're not channeling that energy. If we keep it all up here, then it can be difficult to really process anything. It can just be going round and round and round. So this is one of those moons again where I would strongly suggest doing some journaling around it. At least that's what I'll be doing. I've got a Gemini moon natally, so it's also a feeling of, it's quite binary in that Mercury is the ruler of the moon. So Mercury is a yes and a no. It carries both sides of information, including the light and the dark. So we've got to make our choices now about how we want to go forwards. We've got connections happening with the nodes as well, which is creating some tension. We do have a grand cross, and it is mutable, which means that it can be quite adaptable. It's a very adaptable situation, because but we've got to get clear on it. So I think it's about grounding the emotions and the information that's dropping through fast, because we're getting loads of downloads now because planets are going direct. One by one, they're dropping all this different types of information in. On this particular full moon, it's about adapting to the situation, being flexible, looking forwards. As tempting as it might be to go back into a direction that you've already gone in before, which might involve self-criticism. It could involve trying to get things just right. It could involve, but it also could, because you have choices here, you could go to the North Node in Pisces, which is more about allowing things to happen that you've been dreaming of without actually having to have a concrete way. Saturn is going to help us take care of that, all in good time, I think. Saturn is the timer as well, so all in good time. And we can have faith with that, because Neptune is at this critical degree of 29 degrees and asking us, and this is all happening on, this is all the chart of the full moon, that Neptune being at this critical degrees is also in retrograde, and it's helping us. So Neptune is still in that internal phase of like letting go. So there's a lot of letting go before we're really bringing in anything new. But the process of this full moon, I think that it's to do with emotionally understanding something, and it can be a bit detached, which is also a good thing, because then we can perhaps see it from different sides. So we're getting that duality in our minds, but then it's the dropping in side of it as well. It's the dropping in and feeling it. It might feel a bit awkward. Our wounds might feel a bit disconnected with our minds, and our minds are going deeper still, because the Mercury, the planet of communication and thoughts and processes and how we think, we're still very much in the deep in our minds. And I think that it's an interesting dialogue that's happening there. But we do have a supporting trine that is also moving the emotions. I think it's a very emotional moon, because it's out of bounds as well. It's a very emotional moon, but we're heading towards some completion points. And when the moon is in a state of fullness, that is overfilling. It's overfilling. So don't take it all the way up here. Allow it to be here, but then take it down somatically. Take it down. And I think that journaling is a really good idea. I think talking to friends is a good idea, but talk to a friend who can help you ground it, rather than just like going round in circles, not really processing it. Because sometimes when we have a moon in Gemini, and I can speak from personal experience, so I'll go from there. For me, I've had to learn over the years, and there'll be obviously other things in my natal chart that will be telling me this, but I have had to learn that you can process it so far mentally, and then after that you're just spinning your wheels. So I feel, when I look at this chart, that there's a lot of energy there that we're not necessarily feeling into. That's what I'm feeling intuitively when I see the chart. So, the background information of that is as well that we do have a drive to expand now. And we've got, what's fueling us now is looking at the possibilities. And I think we're in seeking mode. Our motivation is to seek and find and expand and grow and go beyond where we've never gone before. And because of Sagittarius, we've got a stellium right there. And there might be some things in the background that we need to forgive ourselves for. There might be some self-righteousness that comes up, and we might be secretly feeling that. But I think we can just let that go. We can forgive ourselves for that. There's a lot going on, and I think that just keep going towards the north of the north node energy is the Piscean energy, the Piscean vibes, which is on the high road of that, is being compassionate and understanding to what it is, and just accepting and surrendering into what is, and believing in something more, believing in something better, but having faith is what I'm saying. Saturn is now direct. We've talked about that on another video, but just to recap slightly, that Saturn is now giving us ways and the karmic closures that we need to just accept. So it's giving us the information of things that are coming to an end, the lessons we've learnt, and they have been hard. Some of the lessons have been really difficult, and I think that's all I've got for you today. So, and yeah, that's what's come in. So good luck with it. It's a big one. I believe it's a big one, and I just think we need to be aware of it, though. We need to just get into that sense of awareness that there is stuff going on in our minds, and we might not be fully connecting with it. So drop in, feel it. It's very, very yang, but it's also, we're adaptable. We can adapt, but don't adapt before you've felt it. Okay. See you soon. Lots of love. Bye.